Vice President Kamala Harris stood before 75,000 people with the White House as her backdrop in one of the most pivotal speeches of her campaign. The Democratic presidential nominee warned of Donald Trump's threat to democracy, speaking at the very site he made remarks on January 6th before his supporters stormed the Capitol.
We know who Donald Trump is. He is the person who stood at this very spot nearly 4 years ago and sent an armed mob to the United States Capitol to overturn the will of the people in a free and fair election.
In Harris's final case to voters, she tried to draw a stark distinction between herself and her opponent, pledging that she'll work to improve people's lives while arguing that Trump is only in it for himself.
This is someone who is unstable, obsessed with revenge, consumed with grievance, and out for unchecked power.
President Biden was notably absent.
Why are you not attending? It's right there on the ellipse.
Because it's for her. It's her night.
But he did take a swipe at Trump's supporters when reacting to the Republican presidential nominee's rally at Madison Square Garden over the weekend in a call organized by the Hispanic advocacy group Voto Latino. Biden specifically pointed to a joke made by a comedian at the rally referring to Puerto Rico as a floating island of garbage.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable, and it's un-American.
Trump took the rare step of distancing himself from comedian Tony Hinchcliffe's remarks. While speaking on Hannity, the former president denied even knowing who he is.
I have no idea who he is. Never saw him, never heard of him, and don't want to hear of him.
His campaign immediately seized on Biden's comments. A spokesperson said in a statement, "There's no way to spin it. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris just don't hate President Trump. They despise the tens of millions of Americans who support him." Later, in a post on X, Biden corrected himself, writing in part, "His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable. That's all I meant to say." The former president took the stage in Allentown, Pennsylvania, focusing on the issues polling shows voters trust him with more: immigration and the economy.
If I win, we will quickly build the greatest economy in the history of the world. We will rapidly defeat inflation, and very simply, we will make America affordable again.